Hi, this is Sam from Liberty Sprayers. I've done a previous video regarding our premium 2-liter hypochlorous acid generator. Now, and for that one we used a 30-gram scoop for the non-iodized salt, and that led some people to believe that it wasn't as strong or as effective as our standard 2-liter model.